Celebrity Deathmatch was the best thing I could ever discover from MTV Español. See, from around the time that the show was getting reruns, it was very rare to see a rerun episode of CDM, and MTV Español would always air an episode on a Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Sunday. Sometimes they'd air the same 3 episodes following each week, which would suck because there was no other way to see these episodes. We couldn't search them online. Actually, you could search for them, but MTV.com would only show a sample clip of each fight, but only from season 4, I think. That was no longer a problem once MTV2 premiered their Sickimation, which aired multiple episodes of Celebrity Deathmatch, giving me and my older brother a goddamn blessing from the gods. So since YouTube wasn't around at the time and it was basically swimming in the World Wide Web's nutsack, we had to dig through the internet, dig until we could find something that can reveal information or possibly clips based on the show you're looking for. At one point I was lucky enough to find a website that showed the entire match of Kiss vs NSYNC. It was the greatest thing I could ever watch. At my school computer lab, they had fast internet. And as other students pretended to do their homework assignments and were really playing Ganguro Girl, I was rewatching Kiss vs NSYNC until they eventually blocked the site. My school was very anal with censorship. So the early 2000s was a struggle when it came to CDM. It was so damn hard trying to find a single clip based on Celebrity Deathmatch. You know how nowadays whatever you search on Google, the best results appear on the first page? Well, back then, you had to search through numerous pages on Google to find the gold. At one point, I remember stumbling upon a completely forgotten website that actually included clips from the first season of Celebrity Deathmatch. It was the closest I could ever get to seeing how the first season was like. I was introduced to CDM in its 3rd season, and at the time, they would only air reruns of the 3rd and 4th seasons. Also, since this was during the start of the internet, there were a few things that really, truly sucked. The internet speed, no YouTube, and the lowest video quality you could ever see. These were in fact the dark ages for those of us who trip balls over a bad internet connection. I lived in a small town, and you know how even till today some small towns can't get fast internet speed? Well, my hometown was a small town, and that internet speed was like shit coming out of a constipated snail. It took maybe 30 minutes to load up a 20 kilobyte picture. It took about an hour to load up 5 seconds of a 144p video clip. It was a matter of patience, but the wait was always worth it. Sadly, I don't remember the name of the website, as I could never find it anymore. I remember searching for hours, loading page after page on Google, and I lost the treasure. I could never find it ever again. But luckily, the official Celebrity Deathmatch website URL was captured in my head, and I still remember it till today, so that's what we're looking at here, folks. www.deathmatch.mtv.com. A long lost and forgotten website, a part of MTV, of course. So we're going back, all the way back to February 29th of the year 2000. You guys remember using Real Player? Real Player was the first program I used which allowed me to watch video clips online. There was also Macromedia Shockwave. That changed to Adobe Shockwave. Speaking of that, can you believe that Adobe pulled the plug on Shockwave just recently? They mentioned that Flash is still around, but they'll be discontinuing Flash by the end of 2020. But anyways, those were the 2 plugins needed to watch online video clips, and the Celebrity Deathmatch site used Real Player. None of these links work well enough to browse freely now, but let's look at the first link here. It says a perspectives fresh from the announcer's booth. You've asked Nick and Johnny, now see what they've come up with. The page leads to a semi-blank page with the text that reads, Nick, what clay do you use, and what animating program do the people working for CDM use? Very good question by Wareham, I think. Sadly, the answers aren't shown here. I too would have loved to know the answers to these 2 questions, but after seeing the making of Celebrity Deathmatch, it looks like they must have been using some really expensive equipment, but most importantly, a lot of dedicated and talented workers. Next link to click on is CDM Fanatic Contest. Here it says, dig CDM, 18 and up, win a trip for 2 to New York City and a tour of the MTV Animation Studio, plus a spot in an animated live-action interview with Nick Diamond and Johnny Gomez on MTV.com. By correctly answering these 5 toughies and convincing us that you're the show's ultimate fan. Okay, let's see if I got this. What is the name of the demon that possessed Nicky Jr.? Captain Duty. Mr. Hanky. That would have been weirder. Slim Shady? I would have preferred that over Captain Duty, to be honest. How did Stacy Cornbread die? Spontaneous human combustion. The wrong answers are hit by an ice cream truck, I wouldn't think that would actually kill her, seeing as a bunch of characters have survived worse things. Food poisoning, that would have been a lame way for her to go. It still sucked that she randomly died though, but I guess I couldn't complain since her replacement, Debbie Matenopoulos, was funny as hell. Question 3 says, what celebrity served as mystery referee in the Jackie Chan Jean-Claude Van Damme fight? Easy, Chuck Norris. Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal was beat by David Spade, but I think it happened after this fight. But Pat Morita? That would have been awesome. But also, it would have been quite unfortunate seeing as what happened to Chuck Norris in that fight. Fourth question, what famous comedian surprised everyone by interrupting the Gallagher brothers from Oasis? Another easy one, Gallagher. What are the wrong answers here? Robin Williams? No, but he does end up fighting in the second season against Whoopi Goldberg and Billy something, I forgot. Tom Green? What's he been up to? I love the guy. He also had a fight. What was around the third or fourth season. Fifth question says, what was the name of the fight between John Travolta and Nicolas Cage? Well, the screenshot was cut off here, but I remember their fight was about a tribute about the movie Face Off. And I think they went with Ass Off, for obvious reasons. On to the death move guide. This page looks interesting. If you ever wanted to know the names of each death move performed in the show, this was where to look at. You even had a chance to submit your own death move. Pretty cool. Debbie's View. This page gives us a little information about Debbie Matenopoulos. Her interviews were always memorable. My favorite moment of hers was when she tried operating a helicopter and flew straight into a building. How did she survive that? Let's look at the glory days fights of old. This is interesting. It says, for years, Celebrity Deathmatch has presented some of the finest homicidal horseplay ever captured in clay. No doubts on that. Audiences have thrilled rock stars, actors, athletes, world leaders, supermodels, and mythical creatures putting their lives on the line to defend their good names. Who can forget Marilyn Manson's now legendary Tahitian skeleton pull of death, or Stone Cold Steve Austin's utter domination of Vince McMahon, or when the two fat ladies made mincemeat out of Emeril Lagasse. What started as a simple Super Bowl halftime show has evolved into a carnival of carnage, blending the glamorous and unpredictable world of fame with the cold, hard reality of death. And now, all these years later, millions of deathmatch fans around the world are relieved to see that the blood, sweat, tears, and other less identifiable fluids are still flowing. Well, that's pretty descriptive. I like it. Let's check out the Death Yard. Not bad. I see they put Stacey Cornbread on a tombstone. This is a short list of some celebrity losses, showing random ones from season 1 through 3, I think. The fight suggestion box is something I would have gone for before it was too late. This is where you get to request a specific fight that you'd like to see. I think it's thanks to this suggestion box that we got fights like Beavis vs. Butthead and Backstreet Boys vs. NSYNC. What celebrity matches would you have gone with? The message boards and chat are unavailable, but the store still shows up. They don't have much, but they do show a few super rare items here. The VHS tapes of CDM Greatest Hits, Round 1 and Round 2. The descriptions make it difficult to know what exactly comes with each tape though. Since they're VHS tapes, I'm guessing they wouldn't show the entire season on a single tape. So they must have gone with a compilation of matches, or in this case, 6 carnage-filled conflicts. I don't know if that means 6 episodes or just 6 matches. Either way, it's still super rare to find one of these tapes. Same goes for the soundtrack, and the soundtrack is great. However, some songs do include somewhat of a censored version, like Eminem's My Fault. It's on the CDM soundtrack, but it's the pizza mix version. Look it up so you can see what I mean. I can't play the song for copyright reasons. But nonetheless, the soundtrack did kick ass. Looking a year later, they did update a few things like the Death Yard and even included the winner of their contest. The winner was Jake Richard from South Bend, Indiana. Lucky guy. He even got his own section where he explained his journey before and after the trip to New York City. It's worth reading for yourself if you're interested. Just pause the video to read it all. So around 2001, they continued to update the Celebrity Deathmatch page, and the quality sure improved. As their quality did improve, so did the series. Season 4 was the best animated of all seasons. This was my favorite part of the MTV website. It was pretty much my only reason to check out the site. MTV did have some quality shows back then, some, but we all know that throughout the years it continued to suck. And well, let's take a quick peek at the website now. Ugh, as you can see, it's full of crappy reality shows. You got a bunch of jabronis who get paid to be drama queens and hold a masculinity because you don't want to get a boo-boo on those faces. I don't know what most of these shows are about, and I know a simple Google search will do the trick, but I don't feel like looking up anything that has to do with this or this, and I just don't see a way around that. Plus, I'm sure they're all the same. They suck. Maybe excluding Catfish and Ridiculousness. That show still airs though. Also, what is Lindsay Lohan doing here? Lohan's Beach Club? She probably replaced the beach's sand with cocaine. I think her folks are rich enough to get her that, right? If any of you have kids, you might want to keep them from watching this crap, especially daughters. Wouldn't want your daughter to be influenced by any of these whores. What kind of message is Teen Mom? Keep making them and every new mom will be a teen. How far is tattoo far? Jeez, even MTV uses over-exaggerated face expressions for their thumbnails? Seriously though, I can't keep looking at this cringe. It's burning my eyes and my soul. So, did any of you grow up browsing through the Celebrity Deathmatch site? It was fun revisiting the site and checking out its early stages. I always remember this specific version. The best part of it was checking out the combatant photos. They're not present in the archives as far as I know, but since I wasn't able to check them out here, luckily I did print out a bunch of them when I had the chance back then. I'm telling you, I was such a big fan of this show that I would even print out countless images from this site. I would also draw my own CDM dream matches, but that's best for a whole different video, maybe. I don't remember clicking on the celebrity testimonials. It sounds interesting since Ice Cube is on the cover, but what's also interesting is that nowadays they're mentioning that Celebrity Deathmatch will be coming back and it's going to have Ice Cube as executive producer. So let's hope that that does occur and Cobra Kai ain't the only show to redeem a franchise. But anyways, with that said, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. And if you'd like to see extra videos, have early access to upcoming videos, and you'd like to vote on what you want to see next, or you simply just want to see your name at the end of the videos, then feel free to support the channel by donating a single dollar to my Patreon. The link is on the description, along with the link to my Facebook page, DeviantArt, and Twitter. I'd also like to give a big thanks to all my Patreon supporters. It means a lot to me that you're helping support my channel. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next video, and remember to have an awesome day.